Crafters, Raquel here with Paints and Glitter, and I'm just coming along with a very quick little video sharing with you what this little house looks like. And this was made with the Festive Home Decor Die set, and it is a bundle die set from Tonic Studios. I've shared with you another little house that I had created with it, and there's a full tutorial on how you can make this little house here. And this was my little gingerbread house. So as you can see, the colors here are the vibrant red, the creams, the browns, golds, that kind of color palette. But I did want to make one to match the little windmill that I had created. So if you haven't seen that video, you can, I'll try to link it below. But what I wanted to do here is to make a more shabby version. I thought it would be really beautiful to go ahead and go all out with the colors of the grays, pinks, greens, that sort of kind of muted palette. So I'm going to move this out of the way. You can see it a little bit better here. And what I wanted to share with you is that with the set, you're going to get a stencil and a set of stamps. So it's a really beautiful and very useful set that you can do a lot with. In fact, I also made a card with it, and I'll share that really quick. For this little house, and you can tell it is a box, so the little roof does come right off. I used these papers here from Stamperia, and it's called House of Roses. And here you can see very quickly what these papers will look like. There are some that have this wood texture, some roses. It's nice and shabby. It's got little tags with birds and flowers. I really like that sort of theme, and I love the colors. So what I did was that I cut out the portion of the roof, because I keep getting questions about it, with one of the papers that's got that drawing or design on it. That's all it was. So I also topped it off with a handmade flower here. All the other little flowers were in my stash. Some of them are from Tim Holtz, the others are from Rene Bouquets, and yet others I did purchase a long time ago from someone online. I can't recall the name of the company. The little leaf there is from Rene Bouquets, and then I have some of this little kind of nesting material. I forget what it's called. The ribbon is from Tonic Studios. I did use diamond dots all the way around the top there because I love giving that little bit of shine and glistening to my projects. Then on the side here, on the gable of the roof, I did use the stencil that's included in the set, and I did apply mousse onto this base piece, but then on top of it I did place the layer, and then I also embellished it with Nuvo drops, and I'm going to share with you the color. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember a lot of things, so that's why my words aren't coming out so clearly, but I did use White Blizzard, and that is a Nuvo glitter drop that dries clear but does give you a little bit of glitter that's very subtle, and just kind of gives it that ethereal type of look that I like. And then on the side here, and I'm going to try to point my light here, here we go. So on the side here, there are little bricks that cut out of the paper, and on those I did use different colors of Nuvo drops because I wanted them to match the colors of the papers. The little windows you can cut out using the die set, and then there's also a stamp that you can color using the stamp set that comes with the set. And I'm sorry for the glare there. So that little stamp I stamped onto one of the pieces of paper that had the roses on it, and I fussy cut that and layered it onto the piece of paper that I had already colored using some Nuvo markers. And I did use some neutral colors. If I'm not mistaken, I used 485, which is feather gray, and I think 497, which is Stonehenge. I think those were the colors that I used for my little windows. I also put little diamond dots there. This is another stamp, so I did the same thing again. I stamped it onto some of the papers that I had already cut out because it had that wood pattern, And then I also stamped it onto little flowers and fussy cut that and layered it together. Then on the front here, the little windows are stamped. So let me remove this. Maybe you guys can see it a little bit better like that. The little windows are also stamped. And then the frames are cut out of white paper that have Nuvo drops on them. The little bow comes in the set. The tiny, tiny little flowers that you see there, those all come in the set. And you can cut them all at once. I layered them, of course, and then in the center I placed little Nuvo drops. Then on the other side I just did the same thing with the little bricks. The little windows here are popped up. I wanted to add a little dimensional adhesive there. And then in the back here are two more little windows. They are stamped onto white paper, colored using the Nuvo alcohol markers. And then this little fence here was kind of, I fussy cut out of the paper collection, yet the little bushes are created with a stamp from the set, and I stamped it onto the paper that had flowers on it. Fussy cut around, or yeah, I used the die. There is a matching die, but I did fussy cut around it to make it even closer to that edge, and then pop those there. And then two more little bows that I cut out using Tonic Studios gold mirror cardstock. And that explains this little house. I hope it helps. I know that there's that optical illusion there with the roof, but I didn't do any of that work. That's just a really ingenious design. I don't know who designed this paper line, but I think it's absolutely stunning. And I just, when I saw that paper, see another little piece there, I had to use it. Of course I had to use it. It just made sense. And then the little fence, I also cut out using the paper that looked like wood. And then here is the little card that I made, and I just wanted to share using the same little window die, I should say. You can pop that onto a card, and I had previously shared this, but I figured I should share it again. I applied one of the stamps that just has a little branch. I just did a little bit of stamping here that where you stamp it in the original ink, and then whatever is left on the stamp, you stamp it again. And that's just a little technique, so that way you get a lighter and a darker version. And I'm forgetting the name of the technique at the moment, but you can do that too. The little brick stamps come with the set. This is again that same panel that I had used on the side of the house, only this time I cut it out of pearlescent cardstock from Tonic. The little windows open here as well. And in this case, that little window, which is the same I used on the house, I stamped onto vellum using Tonic Studios embossing powder. I heat embossed it, and it has that beautiful copper-like color. And I applied, I stamped the Happy New Home that comes with the set as well onto a little square that you can also cut out using the set, and applied a little flower here from Renee Bouquets with a little bow. And I had these charms in my stash, so I figured I should use them because it says Happy New Home, and it is a key and a locket. And the little flowers in this case I did top with diamond dots. This is all on a pearlescent panel, and then also on a rose gold panel that I did shabby up. And then the edges, I just took a Nuvo drop and just used it with a paintbrush and just painted along the edges there. And then lastly, I did top it off with a little dragonfly from Renee Bouquets. And the background, by the way, was colored using both, I think it was Pink Lemonade. It may have been a combination of Cameo Pink and Pink Lemonade onto watercolor card. And then I also used a Nuvo mousse on just a portion of it that I also kind of just placed on there as if it were watercolor. And then I did splatter this with a spray. I used cream gold, if I'm not mistaken. And I just opened it and just kind of, I just flick the little portion that goes on the inside onto my paper, and that's literally how I do it. Just kind of muscle memory. I just flick it onto the paper, and then I get that beautiful golden shine. And that's on a base card. so that it opens like so. And that's about it. I hope that this answers any questions that you may have had. If you've not yet picked up this set, I highly encourage you to do so. I think that you can come up with so many different versions of this, and I mean, you can tell the contrast is so night and day. But I love that about Tonic Studios dies, is that you don't have to stick to a mold. You do what makes you happy in crafting and conveys a part of what you love, and I don't think there's a wrong way to go about it. Just, you know, I'm not into the bats and that sort of thing. I don't celebrate Halloween, but I do love celebrating life and new growth and all of that. And so this is what I see when I look at something like this. And so I hope that you enjoy it as well. And as I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. And there's links below if you want to use them. All right, hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.